Good morning. So I promised last time that I would do a video flight around kind of the Scotland area, so I just picked a quote-unquote seemingly short trip. It's about 51 minutes, I believe, from an island off in the Atlantic over there, heading over a viaduct. We're going to head past a castle to another castle, and then we'll come down by this Wallace Monument and Stirling Castle, which will bring us down into Edinburgh, and by a couple other neat things. Not sure how much we'll get to see because I'll be flying and probably fighting autopilot again, but I wanted to come along and do something like this. I was going to hit up some more waypoints, but in typical non-fixed fashion, I can't pick the order of all these things up here at the top, which is really flippin' annoying, but that's just the way it is. So, fairly simple flight, quote-unquote. I say that all the time. Let's see how it goes. Alright, well, load times weren't quite as bad as they had been elsewhere. That is a blinding light in my face. Why are none of the lights on? Oh, wait, no, I want panel lighting on. Can't see anything. Turn. Are these lights on? I don't know. Turn on. Landing lights, yes. Okay, all the internal lights are on. Can I see things? Ooh, that's bright. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to have much in the way of navigation here, but let's... I keep zooming on the wrong thing. Okay, dokie. Let's see what happens here. I don't know what to guess for altitude, so we'll just go up to 4,000. I think that's a fair low altitude set. The radio should tell me something. Climb maintain 6,000. There it is. There's too many options on there, and it didn't display for me. So we're going up to 6,000. I want my vertical speed to be a reasonable 2. That's pretty much it. Vertical speed. I'll turn yaw damper on. Turn nav mode on. Where's my navigation? We're set to GPS. I wonder why it's taking me around to the right. F2 GPS. I think we'll try this. I don't know if that's right. Yeah. I don't have anything pre-configured in there, so... Alright, here's hoping we don't crash and burn. Doesn't look like a super long runway. Got Purple Wonder out here in the morning. Oh, cool. Wind turbines out here on the ground. Alright. Let's get prepared here for a takeoff. If I can get going fast enough before I run out of runway. Wicked torque steer going on too. Yeah, we should be fine. It's kind of a weird stepped runway. I wonder if that's how it is in real life. Oh boy, nose is coming up. That's good. Gear up. Let's not go too nuts. Whoa, see, it just skyrocketed. Don't go nuts, plane. Don't go nuts. Gain the airspeed we need. Flying manually still. We're going up a little high. Let's come off a little lower. Raise the flaps.
Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Mike Papa is climbing through 600 feet for 6,000 feet.
and turn on autopilot. Okay, we're out in the sticks, so we're doing about 24 to 28 FPS on average, as you can probably tell by how smooth everything is. This plane's handling the turn a lot more naturally, so it looks more like we're getting buffeted by some wind as we climb out, which is much better than the typical garbage that we saw in all the other aircraft. Let's come outside. There's the airport. Alright, so we made a rather long right turn. Could have just turned left, but hey. That's the Scottish mainland back over there. We should level off here before long. I hope, because we're going to rapidly start approaching my GPS marker. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is doing, because GPS is not taking me where I need to go here. I don't need to fly around the runway again. Outstanding. So I'm going to have to manually fly this, is what you're telling me, and that sucks. Okay, I have no idea what it's doing. Why am I orbiting the island here? Come up a long way. It's a beautiful view. Wow, hitting 36 FPS up here with the changes I made. That's awesome. So, we are going to have to wing this then, which sucks. Let's make for 45-50, I guess. Switch to heading approach. Speed is still climbing, thankfully. Interesting how they put all the lights out there for, I believe they're wind turbines, but it could also be to notify where the islands are. But it's kind of interesting how it can serve as a dual purpose. I'm sure those lights will be pretty visible from a distance. Alright, let's get my heading turned a little bit more. Let's match it up here, and that way we go in the right direction. I'd love to find one of the big offshore wind farms out here. That'd probably be pretty awesome looking. Alright, I'm going to run the speed up pretty high. I did put my fuel level at 98%, but for some reason the system is already showing me much lower than that. No. Where's my fuel options here? You're supposed to show me fuel, but you don't seem to be showing me fuel unless I'm just a moron thinking that the weight is something else. Yeah, I set myself to 90 on fuel, but it didn't take for some reason. There we go. Now we're up to 90. Actually, I should probably set that down a couple percentage points. I believe I was at 47 from 50 default, so I'll go down to 87, losing the same 3 pounds of fuel that takeoff took. We're getting up there on speed, so I will certainly slow us down here in a minute so that we're not going quite so super fast. It's the airport. I don't seem to be gaining quite as much speed anymore, so kind of interesting on that. I'm at 98% on thrust to avoid the master alarm of maintaining the high torque. For the time being, the TBM seems to be flying level. Probably jinxed myself. We can see a bit of the wind rock, and that's normal. But overall, it seems to be doing pretty well. Kind of impressed. Got a little bit of a right list, but overall nothing crazy. We'll see kind of how it handles as it continues here. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting how there's very little on these islands in the term of even farms, really. It just looks like a rocky island, but there's a couple roads, a couple landing strips, power, probably some sheep, another game out here, but there's really not much out at all. Curious if they have a ferry dock or anything. Small little fishing village. A couple small ones over there. Interesting how well I can see that airport still. I like that. We're still cruising at 35, 36 FPS up here, so I'm very pleased with that. But again, we're in the middle of absolute nowhere. We're starting to lean more to the right. You can see the rudder deflection now. So not as bad as the other airplane, but it is still an issue. I don't know if I can get an overhead view of it at the right angle. Yeah, you can see it right here where the bottom part's still off to the left and the rudder is deflecting to the right, and you can see the joint up here. Again, it's not as bad as the other plane, but it does seem to be getting progressively worse, which is really annoying. Yeah, very obvious against the horizon that we've got a bit of a list. Check the weather. What's the wind layer? Wind layer is coming from the west, which is more behind me at the moment, so in all honesty, I really shouldn't be affected at all right now by the wind. If anything, the wind would cause me to have to turn a bit to the left, or roll a bit to the left, because it would be pushing me in the direction that the plane is currently starting to turn. So definitely not doing what I would hope is proper. But we've got a pretty decent flight going on. Let's go ahead and zip ahead a little ways. Alright, so we are coming up on the Glenfinnan Viaduct. I'm sure I butchered the spelling, so if you're Scottish or Welsh and you know how to pronounce that properly, I am sorry. It's down there in the town. Be off my right side a little bit. Would have expected to see the place marker popping up, but the great work coming up on it. There it is. So, I picked this by chance, thinking I might know what it was, and I'm quite impressed that I did know what it was. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't think I'm going to be able to descend down to get a good look at it, but now that I know this is exactly where it is, that's the one in the title. thought the area and everything was familiar, but I honestly couldn't remember. Looks like a rail station on it, but it might be the one from Harry Potter. Anywho, that's pretty sweet looking from way up here. We'll have to come back and fly down around it. Maybe go out the river, the fjord, whatever it is. But I am impressed I found that without really remembering where it is. Sweet. I wonder if they have Nessie out here somewhere. Alright, so we found that one. Let's begin the next leg of our journey over to Glamis Castle. But first I'm going to need a couple of things.
Scottish Center Dover Sierra Mike Papa. Request 8,000 feet. Air Sierra Mike Papa climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Climb and maintain 8,000 feet Dover Sierra Mike Papa.
We're going to push the engine a little bit here. I believe this should get us pretty close to Glamis on the heading. Perfect. Yeah, we're losing a lot of speed here. Let's decrease the vertical actual speed that we're going up so I don't bleed off too much. We're getting pretty close to the altitude anyway. 7,500, so we should be fine. I think I'm a bit to the left, but that's alright. Actually, no, I'm a bit to the right. Let's come back just a bit to there. I think that should help. Neat city, beautiful mountains now that the sun is up. See the deflection on my rudder now. So I came up to 8,000 to make sure I had plenty of clearance for these mountains, because you wouldn't normally fly so close to them. Beautiful. Interesting, the different patches. I wonder if that's actual difference in forest land that's there, moss growth, or some farming activity, or if that's just the picture that they applied from Bang. Beautiful. I'd love to go here someday. Alright, well, let's zip on ahead to Glamis Castle. Alright, so we are coming up on one of the other objects that I knew was here, in line with Glamis, which is Blair Castle. I don't think we're going to get a very good look at it from up here.
Scottish Center Dover Sierra Mike Papa. Request 6,000 feet. Air Sierra Mike Papa descend and maintain 6,000 feet.
So yeah, I can't really see much from up here.
Dover Sierra Mike Papa.
Let's see if I can zoom in on it. There it is a little bit. Kind of cool. That's kind of a neat castle. We'll catch it as it comes off the, well, maybe catch it as it comes off the wing for a second there. That's a big castle. Kind of cool. Very nice. That's the first one. Glamis is not too much farther away, so let's continue the journey and we'll catch you at Glamis Castle. Alright, so Glamis is due to come up very soon on the screen. Let me pull the VFR map over. So there's Glamis, the other one we just sort of found from the viaduct heading over. After this, we got to make a hard right turn and head towards Grice, which will then lead us towards our inbound. So we'll fly over Edinburgh, come around, and then into the airport, or I mean, we'll head to their main approach vector. But that'll bring us down and around on hopefully ILS. It's supposed to be ILS. Whether or not that actually comes true, we shall see. We're still a bit off to the right, so let's head over by a couple of degrees. Let's see if we can find this castle. Brought us down in altitude a bit here, so we're a little bit slower. Castle should be somewhere up here, or just on the other side of this little hill, so that we can get a better look at it from this lower altitude. Beautiful ground looking from here. We're cruising at about 30 to 32 FPS right now still, so you can see the ground is smooth. Everything's very good right now because there's nothing out here, no buildings. Though I am surprised that the trees and everything else aren't causing more resource usage, similar to being in some of the cities and such. So at this angle we dip down to 28 FPS, just with the shadowing effects that are coming in off the sun, heading around 31, 29. There's the castle. We hit that pretty good on target, doing nothing but manual heading changes. This will be a little rough here in a minute, but it's the way it's going to be. I don't know if I can zoom in properly to catch a good glimpse of it. It's pretty small. Well, compared to the other one, it's a little small, but not too bad. Oops, panning the wrong way. Up gently. Not gently enough. Off your screen. Alright, there we go. Up we go. Come into view here in just a second. Ooh, pretty. Very nice. Alright, so let's come in here and see if Nav will take over and get me on course. Seems to have caught it. That's a good sign. I don't have bank control on, so this will be a pretty steep one. We're close enough that hopefully we'll be able to stay on course. Because if I don't have to manually do all the flying from here on out, that would be awesome until we land. Gaining a little bit of altitude since I'm supposed to be at 5,000 and we're at 5220 and climbing a little bit. It's using the elevators to assist in the turn. Oops, wrong button. I saw the elevators twitch a little bit there. Beautiful place though. Loving the textures. This just looks amazing. Even at my lowered graphics, I think I found a pretty good balance from what I showed last time for what all I'm looking at and what I want to see here. I think we're good at this altitude as well. There's a couple mountains over there that I need to kind of go around. The airport's that away. Somewhere up there. Okay, now don't go nuts getting me back on course. Yeah, I know I've decreased and slowed down. Yeah, I'm aware of that, and it looks like it's taken me down, which is why my speed has gone up. We should bleed the speed off pretty soon. Okay, it's leveled us off a little bit. I should expect to start banking to the left as we come on track here. Is it still using GPS? Yeah, it is. Alright. We should again bank left very soon. Please start banking left. Yes, yes, I know. I don't know why you're having such a fit by being a couple miles per hour over. There we go. Okay, good. Let's bring us back on course. Should be above 250 or 25, yeah, 250 knots anyway, considering we're below 10,000, but whatever. I do not care right now. Okay, we're back on altitude as well. Still don't like how the rudder's not working. You can see the elevators are doing a lot more work now. And it seems that the deflection has increased since I got on navigation instead of heading. So this could be a little bit of a rough approach. We shall see how it goes. What I'd like to do right now is turn on heading. Switch back over to that. And actually begin a slight left bank here. Deflection has not gone anywhere, unfortunately. That's fine. Let's turn autopilot off. Wow, feel that rudder slam back into the right position. Turn nav on. Altitude is back on at 5,000. I don't know why you're telling me we need to bank hard right, but whatever. I'll let the plane crash me. Please don't bank hard right. Please don't bank hard right. Level me out. There we go. Okay, passing Egypt it looks like. At least we're actually turning to the left at the moment. That's a plus instead of flat lining it. Okay, we're coming in. We're on our way to Grice, which will begin my left turn towards the Edinburgh waypoint. And there's the rudder going nuts again. Still at about 260 knots, 78% engine power. That's perfect. It's quite the town. bridge too. So it looks like it has a bit of a problem. Those two lanes don't actually connect. Interesting. Ooh, that's a bit close. Okay. Now we're down to 72% fuel too, which is not too shabby either. Alright, let's get all the way through the vectors here to C124, which should be my approach here. When I hit, I think when I hit DME 09, I'll come back on, so we'll see you then. Alright, so we are in. We don't have our approach vectors yet. I'm wondering if I'm going to need to switch off my GPS down here to a different system for that to kick in. We came in pretty decently. We're going a bit fast right now. I'm letting it slowly slow down. Thankfully, overall, the system did pretty well. I'm pretty impressed that even though the autopilot does have the rudder issue in this, one correction and overall the system is working pretty decently. See, it's still deflecting a bit the wrong way, but at least we're not totally hosed. But on the whole, the flight worked out pretty well. I think because of the rudder issue, we're going to go a bit wide here, so I'm going to take just a second to smooth that out so that we can get back on the right track. I can see the field out there. I do not have ILS yet, which is not cool. There it is. So we just switched onto the locator. Whoa, I'm gonna turn approach on, which I don't know what the heck just happened. Nav mode, kick me back on. Get flight director on. I think that may help with my speed. We have slowed down quite a lot. Alright, I'm gonna run approach now. Whoa, approach is dropping us way down, so I'm gonna throttle down. Put the first set of flaps on as we're coming in. I'll drop my gear here in a second. I'm gonna try to hold us at about 204 knots, which is roughly where I'm at now. Is thing needs to angle me a bit more to the right. I'm too far to the left. It's trying. It's trying. See the city coming in on the left. And now we're getting back on the right track. Come on, get me over there. Gear down. Just give me some more drag. Okay, gear is in place. Continuing to come to the right. Speed's at 194 and dropping. Just a second, I'm going to drop the secondary flaps. There they go. I'm going to throttle up a little bit here, because my speed just totally tanked. I might have dropped those a bit too early, but I don't like dumping those flaps too close to the ground, because then I end up having a lot of issues trying to control the plane that suddenly wants to shoot skyward here. So I'm happy with my speed at the moment. It looks like the ILS system is starting to bank me a bit to the left. I am going, wow, look at that crabbing for no reason on that stupid rudder problem, which is going to make landing a bit difficult. Flight director's bringing me down nicely on the altitude. It'll probably give me manual control here in a minute. I think we're doing pretty good. I'm impressed. I love the TBM. This is why I keep flying this airplane, because even with the broken aspects to it, it just works overall. I am a bit nervous about my elevator trims. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of an issue because of the flaps. Let's zoom this back into something a bit more normal. There we go. Keep me coming in, buddy. I'm getting a lot of shake on the plane, which I don't like. We're a bit too far to the left. I think about now autopilot should be thinking about coming off. Yeah, I'm a bit low. My speed's still holding steady, so I'm going to throttle back just a tiny bit. Autopilot is off. I am going to fight for some control here. Don't fall out of the sky. Keep it steady. Too down, too far down. Oop, yep. I should have cut my speed sooner. Yeah. As far as a critique of the landing, my portion was garbage. Exactly as I feared, when autopilot cut off, I had to fight the, not fight, but I had to realize where the trims were so that I could kind of equalize what the plane was doing so I didn't shoot skyward. And in trying to pay attention to some of those things, I ended up drifting a bit to the left-right, and then I did not pull off my speed quite fast enough, so I ended up carrying a bit too much speed that allowed me to drift a little farther than I had wanted to down the runway. So, and then I did cut the speed and I sort of fell out a little harder with some of the banking. So not the best as far as controls go, but overall that was pretty decent, I must say. I did enjoy that. I didn't totally turf it, and the plane flew beautifully overall. So I'm gonna say that's a net positive. We got to see some neat sights. I definitely want to come back to Edinburgh. And the TBM is still just one of the best planes in this game, because it works pretty much. I still don't understand that autopilot issue, but at least in the TBM it's not quite as pronounced, at least under heading mode. When I switched to nav mode, it did seem to have the same type of a problem. Wow, that United texture's backwards. Somebody not pay attention? If it's backwards on the other side, then I'm really gonna laugh, because come on, guys. It is. Seriously, you guys don't even know how to put a texture on the right way. Brutal. Anyway, it picked up the localizer at about the right moment. We were able to come in on approach. It flew me down. Altitude, everything on that approach just worked. Whereas in all these other planes, the jets that I really want to fly to do a lot more realistic flights just doesn't work, and that's so depressing. But this was fun. I was able to come in, see some sights, do some flying. Yeah, it had issues, but it wasn't game breaking. It was an issue that I could enjoy dealing with some annoyance, but I could still fly and deal with the game and play, and that's what matters most. I don't know if this tiny little plane would actually pull up to a gate, but it's possible. Okay, let's get up here. Yeah, for a second I had the option to request a jetway connection. Awesome. There we go. Brake is on. That should be the fuel off. Whoa. Okay. Oops, that's the trims. I don't want to miss those. Alright, oops. I left all my lights on. Okay, complete flight. Stats. Flew it during the day. I've done 98 days. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. So we landed at EGPH in Edinburgh. 50 minutes, so we arrived 1 minute early. Not bad. Alright, well that was pretty fun. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.